Good evening and welcome to Skippy Lowe Looks at Hollywood. I'm Jeff McMulder. Tonight Skip has on the show the very lovely Christina Crawford, who has brought with her to the show actor Peter DeLuise, director Lloyd Battisto, and playwright Gary Childress. And now, here he is, the man of the half hour, Skippy Lowe.
Christina Crawford, producer now.
Yes.
Don't tell me, why did you turn to become a producer?
Well, I found this wonderful play. I participated in an awards program for college playwrights for the last 7 or 8 years, and every year I would go to the national conference and see the plays read, meet the playwrights, and participate, and it was very exciting. And then last year, this play, Animal Games.
That's the name of the play?
That's
Animal
right,
Games?
Animal Games, I found, and the playwright Craig Childress. It was a one-act play with 2 characters, but there was something about the material, the people, and Craig himself that I felt was, it was just too important to let go. So I went to New York, and I talked to my lifelong friend, Lloyd Battisto, and asked him if he would be interested in working with the playwright on the material and directing it.
And he is the director, Lloyd Battisto.
Yes,
How
nice to see you, Skip.
Nice seeing you. You are from New York City?
Yeah, well, good.
You're an actor, though, originally.
Actually, I'm from Saturn, Skip. No.
With a voice like that, hey, with a voice like that, you've got to be an actor.
Well, that's what I've done most of my life. All over the years, I've also directed and written some feature films and directed. And when Christina brought me this play, I also had the same reaction that she did. I thought it was a wonderful play. You know, it's funny, we talk about plays and pieces of work that we work on, and you're forced to use adjectives, and Christina just used one that I really think is correct. It's hard to talk about, you say a play is important, and not to sound pretentious about it.
Yes.
And not, I think both of us mean it's an important play, not in its ranks with dramatic literature, but important in the way that in a time where so many pieces, films and plays are about the negative side of life and violence in the most negative sense. This is a play that talks about human values. It's wildly funny and touching, and in a very real way it's about surviving and coping with life, and it's a wonderfully, wonderfully funny play, and important on that level, that it's about the humanity of human beings. You know, we wrote a kind of little catchphrase for advertising about the play that says an adult fantasy about the mating customs and practices of an endangered species, the human being. And I put it in quotes, and it's cute.
And I see you got your star here.
I got a hell of a human being.
John DeLuise's son, Peter DeLuise.
Good to see you.
Hey, good to see you. I haven't seen you since that other show we did with Mamie Van Doren.
Right, Free Ride.
Yeah, tell me about the play. How did they get you?
Well,
did you?
My parents are very good friends with Lloyd, and I guess I was right up there on the top of the list for
was he
young
really,
men who could
was he
play
really
fun.
right for the play? I mean, not just because of your friends.
Yeah, come
now
on,
let's,
tell us the truth.
Let's do it, Lloyd.
I've been wanting to know this too.
The truth will out.
Yeah,
Well, as a matter of fact, Christina, when she spoke about me, said, my lifelong friend.
Yes.
And I must say that Peter is also a lifelong friend of mine. I've known Peter for about 20 years.
The prepubescent area, too.
Yes. I actually knew him before he was born. And, you know, the ideal way to work on new material is not the American way anymore. I think the ideal way is in a repertory situation where you've known people for years and worked with them so that you can have a shorthand that all those years has created for you when you're working on new material.
Yes.
So in a way, we've supplied that with life instead of work, that we've known each other for a long
The
time.
advantage of the communication, of the relationship.
Yes.
But Peter,
Being able to
the
relate to each
character,
other.
I understand you're doing a chicken.
Yes, I'll be in a chicken suit for 3/4 of the
Chicken
play.
soup or suit?
Suit.
Okay, tell me about that.
I hope I'm not in suit.
Tell me about that, Peter.
Well,
You know, the costume and all
the
that.
costume is, I'm a mascot for a chicken takeout Mr. Clucky's Chicken Takeout. And I am forced, through the situations of the play, I'm found in the beginning doing my routine to get cars and customers to come into the restaurant. And as it turns out, I end up going home with a girl in the suit, not having any change of clothing.
She doesn't know who you are underneath that suit. Is that it?
Well,
No,
she can see my beautiful brown eyes.
I see.
No, but and I'm stuck in the suit for 3/4 of the play until then change of scene. Then I get to finally change my clothes.
How many characters in the play?
Now, in the rewrites in the expanded version, there are 4 characters.
Only 4.
There's only 4.
Oh, it's very
quite a
simple. It's
wonderful.
lovely.
Yes.
It's
I
very
love it.
exciting.
Who else is in the play? Who did you get?
Vonda Berra, who was on The Lucy Show for years and is a wonderful actress. A man from Boston who's been in the business for years and years, Robert Collins, and a lovely, delightful, talented young woman by the name of Cindy Iman plays Liz.
You should see her
lead.
sparkle. She is
Really?
pretty.
She's really, really wonderful.
As a matter of fact, to quote a young actor that I know, he said, "You mean the heartthrob that just walked out of the room?" So,
Tell me, the play is at the Marilyn Monroe Theater.
Yes.
Tell me more about that. And Marilyn Monroe is at Lee Strasberg Institute?
Yes, that's right, on Santa Monica Boulevard. And it's in the very interesting theater area for the off-Broadway Los Angeles phenomenon that is happening in our city. What I found when I was looking for the original place to produce this play is that right now, and I'm a native of Los Angeles, so
certainly
I'm
are.
very proud of the fact that right now we have a better atmosphere for doing new plays in the Los Angeles off-Broadway
So you're happy with what's
situation.
happening with the theater here in Los Angeles?
Very much so. I mean, it's very much alive. There's a lot of new material coming in. I think that it's a wonderful opportunity for young people. When I started out as an actress, there were many, many avenues open. There was summer stock, regional theater, off-Broadway, and today there are many fewer opportunities.
I
But
see.
Los Angeles Equity Waiver is certainly one of the places. We saw almost 500 people in our casting calls.
500?
And, yes, and
Isn't that
Lloyd was so kind to every single one of them. It was a very interesting experience.
So there was a lot of good actors out there.
A lot of
Really
talent.
good, talented actors.
A lot of talent.
Lloyd,
yes.
you're from New York. Now, really,
Yeah.
what do you think of California? Now, let's be honest. I mean, the theater, I mean,
Skip,
she is really
I have
California.
to tell you
Please.
that I've...
I'm prejudiced.
No, there is good theater. I've been here a little while. I'm
Well,
from New York.
I
and
think that's what's happening in the theater here is very, very exciting.
It is, yes.
I think that you sense it happening in Chicago, in Minneapolis, here, and I think it's probably most exciting here because there's so much ability and talent here. You have the pool of people that you can call on
Yes.
is so much greater. Of course, we have a tremendous advantage in the fact that we're also working in conjunction with the Carnegie Mellon Alumni Association in conjunction with Christina's foundation, so that we have
You
that.
mean the foundation of the battered children?
No, for the playwrights.
For the playwrights,
yes,
I'm sorry. Okay.
But when you put that together, the pool of resources of the people trained at Carnegie,
Yes.
as a center to begin from, if you put that in connection with the talent that's here, looking for work, it's really quite dazzling. I mean, at the open call on Saturday, we saw over 300 people.
I see.
And in the calls the days before that,
Now,
the
Peter,
quality of ability was
Peter, were you there when
extraordinary.
they had these calls? Did you have to read with a lot of people?
I
or
read
you
with several people,
Did you?
several of the female possibilities and like that. And I read when I was still a possibility.
Now tell me something, Christina and Lloyd. What do you, when you audition someone for a play like that, what do you actually, when they walk in, is it the attitude, the way they're doing it, or how? What are you looking for? Not just the reading. I mean,
I'll
they
let
maybe
Lloyd
give you a
answer.
bad reading.
Yeah,
And they could be a good actors.
We were
sometime.
looking for basic types for the description of the characters in the play.
Yes.
that was what we started out looking for. It changed, and Lloyd can tell you about that. We were very fortunate to have a very close, good working relationship with our playwright.
Yes.
So he was here for all but one of the casting days. And as we saw people, and he saw people read, the casting actually became part of the creative process. And
I see.
I think it'd be better for Lloyd to explain that to you.
One of the wonderful things about working on new material is that it is new, it's shifting, it's changing, it's
Yes.
not locked in. So as we went over, as the days evolved, and Craig could see how it was moving, the young couple moved to the young side of their description. The
Yes.
older couple moved toward the older side of their description.
Yes.
And part of what I was looking for was a response to my requests. If I asked someone to make an adjustment
Yes.
and they could make it,
That's
that
it.
told me a tremendous amount. There were some people who had a preconceived notion and they executed it very, very well. But when I asked them to move away from the preconceived notion and to do something different for me, some of them didn't make the adaptation quite so well.
Yes.
And on a new play with a limited time of rehearsal, it's very important for someone to be able to give me what I ask for at a particular moment.
Basically,
And,
you want them to do their own first, and then when you ask,
Yes.
that's what the director
To
really...
take good
Right,
direction.
to be
yeah,
able
good
to
be able to
direct
take the
Good
direction.
direction, yes.
And
yes.
I actually didn't answer your question
Yeah.
directly before about Peter.
Yes.
I think that anyone in this business knows that there are too many chips on the table.
Yeah.
When Peter and I talked through this whole process, I said, Peter, I want you to come and read it.
I see.
This
You
isn't
saw it.
yours, it isn't locked in.
Uh-huh.
There's something that I think connects between you and this boy, but this is not your part. You've got to
Yes.
come in, you've got to fight for it, you've got to show
Yes,
us
yes,
on every
yes.
level that you can do it. It's so important to all of us that if
And
Peter...
he did.
Yes,
And
he
he
did.
did.
He did.
Well, that's good.
If Peter couldn't do it,
Yes, I
I don't
understand.
care who he was, he wouldn't
Peter.
be doing the part.
Peter DeLuise, I mean, you know, Don DeLuise's son. You've been around Hollywood. You're from back east originally, right?
I came in here when I was 3. So
Beverly Hills High? Is that,
No,
is it-
no, no,
you
don't
didn't-
say Beverly Hills High.
Well, tell me about where did you go to school? I mean, you know.
He went to the School of
went-
Hard Knocks.
That's right.
Where's Hard Knocks? Where at...
Palisades.
Palisades, that's
High
Hard
School.
Knocks. Okay, good.
And I was just public regular school.
Okay.
No special treatment.
You didn't get no special
No,
treatment.
the only thing special about my last name is that it gets me in the front door, and then you get, okay, impress me, which is awful. You know, it's hard.
How
to
long have you
think.
been acting, Peter? No.
I've never not been acting.
You've always been
I never had a choice.
I can vouch for that.
I never...
From the first moment. He came out tap dancing. It was one of those.
I see.
You know, he said goo goo and he was dancing.
Now, what's happening with your dad right now? He is doing something
He's
in
in
the
South
costume,
Africa.
too, I understand.
He's in South Africa. He's working with a man in a monkey suit.
And the monkeys.
Everybody has animal suits on today.
Yeah, tell me,
Runs in the family. Did you start it, do you think?
tell me about
With this
I
play?
think it was his idea.
Oh, yes?
Peter, tell me about growing up with Don DeLuise. What kind of a... I asked Christina about her mother several times, but tell me about growing up with a very, very talented, funny man, you know, Don DeLuise. Is he always funny around the house like that, or what?
Yeah, it doesn't turn off.
He really
comes
doesn't?
From the set, no, it's just the same thing. You guys probably don't get, you know, the better version. I get to see him all the time.
Is he
When
really
he's
on?
perfected the routine.
Right. right. Then we can turn the camera on. It's a little
Is he
different.
really on all the time?
Well, you have to live. You have to live the life to be.
How about your mother?
the
tell,
type
me,
of personality.
tell me about your mother. I mean, she's a
My mother,
lovely
she
lady.
sings wonderfully. She's a good mother. She's a loving mother. She's in the performing arts. She was in Music Man with Dick Van Dyke.
Yes, I know.
A little while ago. And both of them together,
Uh-huh.
planting the seed, they made me.
Oh, I
Well, I didn't have a choice.
I see.
I just.
You have brothers and sisters?
2 little brothers, Michael and David. Michael's got a series now, not because of his last name. He went through about 5 times. He went through, you know, screen tests after screen tests, and he finally got it. And he's out of school. You know, they just plucked him right out of school to do this series. And my little brother David is an actor too.
Is this going to be your first play?
No, this will not. I'm already equity. I did Brighton Beach Memoirs at the Burt Reynolds Dinner Theater.
In
I
Florida.
played Stanley in that. And that was about a 500-seat house.
Do you study
Do I study?
with a... Yes, acting, do you?
Bobby Lewis, Lynette Casellas, very good teachers.
So, Lloyd, what would you tell the young actors out there? I mean, they should prepare themselves when they come out to Hollywood or New York. But don't you think New York is the place for an actor to go first, Lloyd, than coming to California?
No.
I think they should prepare.
Overdrive. New York is like overdrive.
I don't think it
fast.
matters where you go. I think it matters that you go and train. It matters that you go and work, and that's one of the dilemmas we're faced
Work
with.
at all times.
Work.
God, it's in the barn.
The best thing for you is to go to a rep theater somewhere. The
Yes.
problem is there aren't very many of them.
Uh-huh.
To do as many plays
Summer
as you...
stock is like a thing of the past.
That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
And that's one of the great problems.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think it matters where you go. It matters that you work with people who are better than you are, and that you get training.
I think also it's very important for people to keep their mind open. You mentioned Minneapolis. Minneapolis is booming with theaters. There are 125 theaters right now
Yes.
in Minneapolis. There is regional theater that is very healthy, and as Lloyd said, the most important thing is to work, and you have to go, at least as a young person, where you can get work.
Yes.
And that you immediately tell the difference in someone who comes in with an experience in the classics. They may be doing something in a chicken suit, but if they've had the background and training, their flexibility is immediately evident.
Lloyd, tell me something. You directed something in San Francisco, was it? Or, no. There
The
was
opera?
something, the opera.
Well,
Tell
I'm
me.
going to do a world premiere of a new opera in New York in May.
Yes.
I worked on a couple of other pieces of Ed's. That's Ed Dixon, who's been touring in Pippin.
Uh-huh.
And he's out on the road right now, but he's a wonderful composer also. We did a musical on Broadway together, King of the Schnorrers. And
You sing. You have to with that voice. That
well, I
voice.
fake. I sing, yes, well, I
Yes,
fake a
you're
lot of
wonderful.
everything, you know.
Marvelous
So,
voice.
but Ed is a fabulous composer, and he's done a new adaptation of The Merchant of Venice called Shylock, which we're going to do in May in New York at the York Musical Theater. And we've been working on that project for about 2 years.
I see.
And it's a wonderful
Where are you
project.
originally from then? New York or?
No, Cleveland, Ohio, which for many, many years was one of the great theatrical centers in this country, and it still is. The Cleveland Playhouse is the oldest rep company in America.
I see.
Lloyd and my father went to they were apprentices at the Cleveland Playhouse together.
Oh,
Yes,
Same time.
I
Dominic
see.
came to Cleveland after he got out of high school, and he worked as a prop man and as a makeup man and did children's theater and all that stuff that you do in training programs in theaters.
Yes, yes.
And got a tremendous background at the Cleveland Playhouse. And when he was there in the theater program, I was still in the children's theater there. I still had 2 more years or so in high school, and that's where we met, and we remained friends over the years. He went back to New York. I subsequently went to New York, and we remained friends, but we met when we were still teenagers.
Batista.
Battista.
That's not Batista. That's a nice Italian name.
Yes, questo
A lot of
Italiano.
Italians in Cleveland.
Oh, great.
You're
one.
Italian, aren't you?
I'm Italian.
Yeah,
You better believe it.
DeLuise. What nationality Italian are you? Sicilian, Napolitan, Calabrese? Napolitan. I'm a Siciliana. And you? What are you?
I'm not really sure, but probably Calabrese. My
Calabrese.
mother was Irish, and my father was
So you're half Italian,
Italian.
half Irish.
You've got a
Yes.
good tint.
Yeah. You're right. Christina, I'm going
Yes.
to ask you once again,
Yes.
growing up with your mother, Joan Crawford, was it hard?
Yeah, it was real rough. Yeah, yeah. I think one of the hardest things as I've gotten older is that I didn't learn from her what I could have and should have learned from her, either as a mother, you know, the mother-daughter relationship,
Yes.
or even as a professional. I dearly wish that she had been able to share with me
Yes.
the professional knowledge that she had. She was a brilliant woman and got in her own way. She could have done a lot more than she did. She had the right instincts,
Yes.
but she got in her own way. And unfortunately, I was not able to get from her the information that I wish that I could have. It would have saved me a lot of trial and error learning. Yeah.
But your book, accurate? I've got to ask you that question.
Yes.
Is it accurate?
Yes, yes. In fact,
The movie,
there-
were you satisfied with the movie, Joe?
Well, the movie was different. The movie, they used the title, they used the characters, and they used some of the events, but they changed the viewpoint, and so therefore they changed the story. They,
What do you mean by changing the viewpoint? I don't
well,
understand.
the book was written from the child's point of view,
Ah.
putting the pieces of the puzzle together as the child's awareness and ability to comprehend increased. And that's what made the story very special, because we've all been children and we all share some of those early feelings and some of the sort of generic memories of being helpless, being frightened, and needing somebody to negotiate the world for us.
Yes.
And that was the power of the book, Mommy Dearest. You know, I'm going to do it on tape.
On tape.
Yeah, Listen
about
for
that.
Pleasure.
Tell me
and
about that.
it's going to be very
You're gonna read the
interesting.
book?
I'm going to read the book. I've done the editing, and I'm very excited about being able to do it.
So
because,
people out there can buy this.
Yeah, very soon. Very
Nice.
soon.
Yes, and I have to tell you,
Are you involved with that, too?
I'm not really, except as a friend, and I've heard Christina read some of it, and it's quite extraordinary. To hear her read
Right,
that
look at me.
herself.
Christina, look at me. Friends. I mean, real friends, or... is
Christina
it
and I?
serious? Yeah, come on. Is it serious?
We have, we have
Come
been
on.
in and out of love through so many lifetimes, other than this one, and this one, that,
So-
that
so you
we
do.
are more than friends.
So you are lovers.
I think we've been everything to each other at any number of times in our lives, and I know that that will continue. I mean, she's very important to me, and I think I'm important to her. I shouldn't answer for her. She's important to me, and she has been ever since we met. And I've always had
hear that?
and I've had a feeling
How did you two
before
meet?
that.
How did you two meet?
We were in college in Carnegie Tech
Oh.
together. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. Oh,
Yes.
what a place.
And I must
It
also
was
There.
beautiful. It was beautiful. And I graduated from high school when I was 16 years old, and I just barely turned 17. Coming out of a very strict Catholic school, and one of the first people I met was Lloyd.
Right.
You can imagine what an impression
Well, I was a little older and a little nuttier. I hope I've become a little saner, but I must also tell you
Yes.
that this is one of the finest actresses I've ever worked with.
People don't know that Christina Crawford
She's
really is a good
extraordinary.
actress. Yes,
In fact, the co-producer of this project, who went to school with us, we set up a theater in Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Performing Artists Foundation, and Christina came and was in the company.
Yes.
This is an actress.
That is a good school, I must say. Carnegie Tech is one of the best, Northwestern Carnegie Tech. That's
Yeah,
even,
yeah.
those are my favorite schools,
That
I
was
think
a very
so,
good
in
school,
America.
very good people, and many of us
So you
in our
enjoyed your days
class
there. You
are,
enjoyed your days.
yeah, and we're still together. It's like a family reunion doing this play.
Christina, if you could have one wish right now, could you tell me?
For
Right.
myself?
Not the play, yes.
For myself?
Yes. What, if you,
That life would continue along the way that it is right now.
you seem very happy.
Yes, I am.
You
I
seem
am.
very,
I'm doing
very
exactly
happy.
what I want
You must
with
have met
people
someone
that I.
you really like to be around, sit around.
Well, it's a joy to be able in this world to be involved doing what you do well
Yes.
with people who are excellent.
Yes, yes. Peter, how about a girl in your life? There is one, isn't there? Come on. Is there a young girl in your life? Come on. There must be some young lady out there in your life right now, isn't there? Steady?
Sure.
Yeah? She's an actress?
That's
or-
the only way to go, is a real
Come on,
deep
share with
kind
us,
of
Peter.
relationship.
Is there someone in your life?
What is this? Get the scuttlebutt while it's hot?
I always
What
like to
do you
know
want?
a
What do you
little
want to
much.
know? What do you want to know?
You're enjoying
Do I
Hollywood
kiss with
right
my
now.
upper lip or
No,
what?
no. Peter, tell me
what?
about Hollywood. I mean, you grew up here,
Hollywood.
you've been around here for a long time. Are you happy around here in
I'm
Hollywood?
very happy here.
You are.
Yes, I like that you can go and you can get in the erratic thing about the theater, and then you can go home in your suburbial. Say you live in the valley, and you can have a quiet time. There's no
I see.
cars honking and like
Is it a quiet time in your life right now, Peter? I mean, when you're through work, when you go home.
I'm hitting the pounding the pavements like crazy, trying to find some serious work. You come off of one movie, you got to pound the
See,
pavement.
he
to
said
get to the
something,
next one.
serious work. Actors got to be serious, along being
Even
fun
in
with it,
comedy,
having fun
even
with
in
it.
comedy, you have to be serious.
You like to do comedy, huh, Peter?
Oh yes,
Is that your forte?
my forte is life.
Okay.
I love life.
Your
And
father
life is
does that
funny.
too. He loves life. He loves
sincere.
to eat. Your dad?
My father is sincere, and that's what makes him funny. He has a childlike quality. A childlike quality. What is childlike quality? It's sincerity. A child isn't corrupt. A child only knows what he feels, and he's sincere about his feelings, and that's what makes my father so lovable.
What a fabulous
Isn't that a lovely
explanation.
line about his
Yeah,
father? I think
yeah.
that's a delightful line, Peter. Tell me something about growing up with your dad.
Okay.
There must be some Was there ever moments?
Well, my father
At moments,
is
right.
very loud, but he's Italian,
Right.
so that's acceptable. I grew up with loud. How can you stand there screaming? What screaming? You know, I never heard scream. I only heard, "I love you."
Only I love you around the house.
Don't run around the house. You'll go through the glass and
Christine.
break your neck.
Chri-
I love you too, Dad.
Christine, you didn't get that, did you? Christina, you
They
did.
were completely different
different,
situations.
yeah.
Yes, yes. But I want to say that I think many people do not appreciate that comedy is actually extremely
Pathos.
yes, and it's very difficult to do. The people that do it so beautifully, like Don, make it look so easy, so natural, and I think in many cases it actually takes more technique and more training and more studying and more depth of
Good comics are very, very good dramatic actors.
yes.
Because you have to understand a subject before you can make fun of it.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think about that, Lloyd?
I have no comment. I mean, these people are being eloquent and articulate, and I have no need to make an editorial comment on what was said
Now, when does this
beautifully.
play open?
October 16th.
Animal Games opens
Yes.
at the Marilyn Monroe Theater,
October
October the
16th.
16th.
Right.
And that's your grand opening.
Yes, it is.
And what days that fall on?
Thursday.
Thursday night. I'll be there. I'm gonna
You
come
will.
see
Thank you.
there.
Thank you.
I'm
It'll be-
hoping that what you'll find is a wonderful evening in the theater with many levels, very funny, very fast, that will also take you into a place where I think theater has something over some of the other more obvious dimensions of other media. It will
Yes.
take you in a magical way to a place where you didn't expect to go.
Yes.
You start in one direction and you end up somewhere else. It's a very funny, human, touching play about the values that I think we all feel that somehow we've lost in contemporary modern life.
Marilyn Monroe Theater, that's at Lee Strasberg Institute. Is that the only little theater there? There's another one, isn't
There
there?
are two other small ones.
There are?
Yes, but this one is 99 seats, so
I
it's
see.
the larger of them,
It's
and
the
the one
larger.
that's used
Now,
for...
why did you pick Lee Strasberg? We asked.
Well,
I mean-
it has its own kind of reputation and prestige, and they also read the plays before they allow you to book the theater. So it's, I think it's a very good situation.
Great. We're finished. We're out. We're
Thank
off
you.
the air. I think we just brought what we need.
Thank you, Skip. That was wonderful.
I mean,
Oh, man, I wanted to...